right.
Okay, are we all together? Is this it?
For now, I guess.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to call this meeting of the Nantucket Historic District Commission to order. It's 1 minute after 1 on Thursday, January 25th. Present today are Diane Coombs, Val Oliver, Stephen Welch, the famous John McLaughlin, and myself, Ray Poole. If any of you want to record any portion of today's meeting, let us know in advance. You all know that. And any conversations outside of what happens at the table here should happen out in the hallway. Thank you. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Diane. All those in favor of Diane's motion to approve today's agenda?
Aye.
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 Okay. First up, public comment. Any public comment at this time? Hearing none, we will move right along to our very terse consent agenda. Could I have a motion? Is there any questions?
Motion to approve.
As submitted.
Number 1, consent, Rick's Olive.
Great. All those in favor of Diane's motion to approve the consent?
Aye.
Aye. We have one item on old business.
abstaining.
Oh, yes, sir. Sorry. Did you get that for the record, Terry? John abstaining.
Okay, it was motion to approve, and that was
Diane. Yep, that was Diane.
And so the vote is 4, 1,
Sure.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4 to 0.
No. Consent?
On consent.
Sorry, yeah, John abstaining. So you have 3 and 1, 2, 3.
4 and 1.
4 to 1, yeah.
4 and 1.
Okay, so one old business. Val, do you have a board on this?
No, it never was heard.
Okay,
Welcome to the HDC.
yes.
Oh, thank you very
Welcome.
much. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. Do we have drawings here? Yes,
Yeah,
we do.
it's a Huntington.
You guys have drawings? 8 Windsor Road.
This is way out off of Plainfield. Laura Coffin, new dwelling. And I don't know if I put any pictures in, but just for context, right across the street is her father's house.
This one right here, Val?
Yeah.
Is that on
Hank.
Windsor Road too?
Coffin.
Okay, thank you.
Here's some context for Dad's house.
What are our colors?
Thank you. Consent. It's a
What are
consent.
the colors?
Approve, you abstain. And
Yeah, white trim, white sash, wood roof,
This is across the street.
Hamilton blue, or Quaker
door.
gray doors.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it says natural.
Yeah.
I assume that's
Natural
wood.
asphalt.
Oh, she has asphalt checked. You're
Oh.
right. I'm just repping it for her.
You're gonna what?
I'm just repping it for her. She filled all this out. So I guess it's asphalt. We pick black,
Strange looking corbel.
architectural.
Is there a natural colored asphalt?
I don't think so. We might find that out next week in our meeting.
I hope to.
Yeah.
So looking forward.
Okay, so board comments if you're finished, Val. How about you, John? What do you think? You need some time or?
Yes.
Okay. Diane?
I think that is good. I think it looks like in the same field as her father's house. The only thing I might suggest is the chimney on the east elevation come up another foot.
Raise the cap up, you mean?
Yeah. Or make the whole chimney just go up a foot, do you think?
That would be fine with me. Would draw better.
I think, yeah, that's what I was thinking with the edge of the roof over there, that it could use a little height to draw.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's all I
That's
have
it?
to say.
Okay. Stephen?
It's a nice design. I think it's appropriate.
Okay. All right, John, that leaves you. Where's this?
Right here, in the back of the house. Kitchen.
You okay? Okay, I think we'll entertain a motion on this one. Thank you, John. All those in favor of John's motion to approve is submitted.
Well, raising the roof.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
just a
that's
condition
okay with
that we
that.
will raise the chimney 1 foot.
Through staff?
Yes.
Through staff, yes. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, very good. There's that.
You want that?
Okay, now we're on to views. First up, 10 Martins Lane. This was the curb cut house, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're working on the restoration of the chimney there, too. That was also, it's underway right now, as a matter of fact.
Okay. Thanks. Okay. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to read our HSAP comments on this application. East elevation, step elevation of addition back from existing mass wall plane. Continuous shingled wall appears awkward with false corner board. South elevation, false corner board. Other, is structure being lifted? You want to just answer that now?
It is not.
It is not being lifted, okay, thank you. The other comment is massive addition is considerate, massive addition is considerate of existing mass and context. I believe that is a positive comment. Okay, so the only thing really that they're looking for is to have the additive mass step back from the main mass. So that was HSAP. Do you have anything you want to tell us, Chuck?
Yeah, so this is a very old structure. Actually, the primary mass, which is the front gabled form, dates to 1756. And the shed roof that then extends off of that was a series that actually changed at least twice from what we're identifying at this point. And then all the other elements came along at later dates. In fact, and part of it, you see that the original plank frame windows are there on the main element, and then somewhere along the line we lost some. The second floor windows are a flat frame. Those type of changes happened. And then
The dormer windows.
dormer windows, the gable windows on both ends are a flat, more modern frame.
I see that, yep.
And that addition, the little gable addition that extends out to the west has flat, and I tried to show that on the drawings, the flat frames versus the plank frames. And they were retasked to other areas also. So essentially, we've tried to contain all our changes to the rear of the structure with so there's minimal visibility to the changes we're making, and it retains its presence on the street. If you look at the photographs, one thing I want to point out is there are mini splits stuck all over this building, and just so you know, they're going away. That's not part of our program, and you will not see anything like that.
All right.
You don't want to put that conduit back on there?
Not inside nor outside. So, on the west elevation, there is a false corner board already on that long run. We're trying to raise the roof on that back section, and which would lose the separation there, but that false corner board exists. On the east,
Sorry. I thought I knew which false corner board they were talking about, but apparently I don't. So, I thought, well, it says east elevation on HSAT.
And there's one on the east that currently, on the east elevation, it is that transition point that is currently, it's a solid wall with a lattice on it. And so we're trying to hold that line to extend out, and so that corner board would be a false corner board.
Right here.
Yes.
You're saying that the existing east elevation, the lattice right now is in plane with the
Correct.
main salt box.
It is. And that's a porch.
Okay.
And
But your addition would be coming out basically to be where that, oh,
This is
well,
perfect shot of
no,
that.
so you're saying that it's already flush?
It is. But that's a porch. When viewed
No, I understand.
from the
It's
rear,
already flush.
it already is flush, and it's a solid wall.
Okay.
If you want a
So,
picture of that wall.
folks,
is a-
Stephen, John,
Yeah, see, it's a solid
this was the
wall.
HSAP
Oh, yeah.
bit. See, that corner board right there is flush, so they were wanting Chuck to
Here.
push his addition back,
Right.
but it's already
Is that
flush.
the big one?
This is an existing porch right here.
And he's removing that and putting a
Backside of
stair there instead, down, and a railing.
Farther back in the
A
yard.
little bit further in, yeah.
Yeah.
Further in, yeah.
But less,
There you go.
less of a mass in any event.
Right.
Okay,
And this is just the other side
So
of
this
the
is just the edging.
flush corner board.
That wall. Just a wall.
yeah, it's interesting. I don't think did they say anything about that one?
No, I thought they said both sides.
They mention on the south, and they mention on the east, but no west. I mean, it's there.
Oh, yeah, there's one on the west. It's already there. That's true. On the south, there is one that defines that. When we pull that addition forward,
Why do you suppose it's
Oh, you mean you're creating one?
we're creating one on the south, yes.
relocated this 6 inches?
Okay, who's ready to give their opinions of this?
Me,
Go for it.
I have
Oliver.
no concerns.
Okay.
I just have a couple of questions.
Yes,
Sorry.
Diane.
On the east elevation, the revised, you have, and the existing on the right-hand side of that trellisy thing, you had 2 windows.
Correct.
On the revised one, you just have one which you have moved just a little bit to the right.
Correct.
Is that because it's changed inside, or is there some other reason?
It's changed inside, and there's the existing bathroom there that we're reworking, and a stair. We're trying to sneak a stairway up there. And so it's a conflict with the staircase.
Okay, so that's all.
Yeah.
And that's the old window, you're going to
Correct.
reuse all the old windows, I don't see any.
Anywhere that we can, we're retasking old windows.
Okay.
And that's an unusual one. That's actually a 6/9.
Right.
Yeah, it's much smaller than the others. And then the new ones would be replicated to match that. So they'll be real plank frame windows with single.
EDLs.
Yes, yes.
All right. And I don't have any, I just wanted to know about that.
Okay, so that's it. John? You ready?
No comment.
Okay. Stephen?
A couple questions. Chuck, first of all, nice design, looks good. I think it's appropriate. But the front door, you're going to replace that storm with a V-groove, or you're going to just go with the door showing in the drawing?
The original door stays.
Yep.
And in fact, it's got shutters on it. It's got 2 little shutters,
shutters.
and those stay also.
Okay, great.
So that's the same door. There's no change there.
Okay, because it's different than in the picture, but I presume that was the storm, that is what...
That's what you're looking at, the shutters are there.
Shutters.
That's the real door that's back there, so.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
dark enough that
Yeah.
it's actually 2 doors.
Yeah.
Next question is, I mean, it's kind of like, you're doing this great job with the plank frame windows, but it's kind of like with these triple track storms putting a fleece vest on over a tuxedo.
The triple tracks in the front of the building
Yeah.
are gone. We're gonna make glass. I don't think I brought that up, but we will take the triple tracks off the front of the building and make wooden storms that would be a glass frame,
Okay.
wood frame with glass.
So your window schedule indicates provide all windows with new aluminum storm windows, but those will be wood frames?
The back of the house it actually has triple tracks everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
But on the front, we want to put wood frames there to make it look more traditional.
And what about on the driveway side that's exposed? Is that possible?
Yeah, we could do that on that
I-
area,
Okay.
yes.
That would be a huge improvement.
Right.
And then you said the mini split system is not going back in?
No.
Or if it is, it's going in under a different application?
So we're going to get rid of the mini split. I think the option we're looking at now would be a high velocity system that would be hidden in the crawl space. And in fact, because we're doing that addition, we can now get a crawl space under that addition that would allow us to put the equipment back there and run all our ductwork underneath.
What about the condenser?
The
In back?
condenser would move, and I don't have a firm location for that, but it's going to move into the backyard, and it would be probably behind that outdoor shower area, tucked back there, because we also have an approval for a fence that we approved, that fences in this backyard, and they're going to reestablish privet and other things back there, but it would go all the way into the back where there's just no way anybody sees that from the street.
If I make a motion, I'm going to include that just based on the sensitivity of this location and the house itself, just that the AC would be a separate application if you need
Right.
a condenser.
Right.
Do you want to make any further comment, John? Okay. Okay, I think we're ready for a motion.
So I would make a motion to approve as submitted with the exception that the north and west, the front and the driveway side
That would be east,
east.
right? Isn't east the driveway
Yes,
side?
north and east elevations all have wood frame storms, and the AC condenser compressor would be under a separate application.
Great. All those in favor of Stephen's motion?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chuck. Nice design.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, here.
Okay, next up, 69 Bartlett Road. There he is.
Those are my glasses. Yeah. I pretend I can see it again.
Greetings all.
Hello, Mark.
Welcome. Today at the HCC, we will be projecting holographic images on the big screen at the rear.
That would be nice. That'll be next.
Okay.
Bartlett Road. Here it is.
Slide through the photographs, you'll see it.
Oh, okay. I know this now.
Yeah, Larrabee used to have his auto parts. There's cars parked in there when he owned it.
Good job.
Is, looks like a Huntington.
Incredible, Ray. You're absolutely incredible.
Very funny. Okay. What are your colors, Mark?
Natural black roof,
Natural trim?
natural trim. If you're familiar, Mark IV for the applicant, I have a series of iPad photographs that everybody can look at, but I think that you're pretty well familiar with this empty vacant lot next to Rick Kozlak's building and a very large Sharp building next door. The Architectural features on the street include two-story residence, two-story shops, so it's an admix of commercial and residential applications, as well as at least one, if not two, other Huntington projects down there, including the one that the Historical Association has.
Right. Okay.
So we've pushed this as far back on the lot as possible, simply because the septic system has to occupy the front area of the lot. And the client owns the house in behind it, so it's not like we're impacting someone who has no knowledge of...
You say the client owns the house behind?
Yes.
On Marble Way?
Yes, it's currently leased by Stop and Shop.
Okay. Let's see. Diane, are you ready?
Yeah. Are you going to make any difference between the two front doors on the front? Are they going to be...
We can. I mean, it's certainly open for discussion to do that. Because of the proximity of the septic system, we can't build an addition out into the porch area because the porch has to be in piers or we violate the separation from the septic system. So the proposal here is for two doors, and we'd certainly be amenable to...
the color or something?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a duplex, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's pretty simple to make many comments about the front. You have the two dormers, and then you have them in sheds in the back. I'm not sure whether I would like sheds in the front more to keep
We're open to suggestion.
the building. I would just thinking about that. The shed would bring the building down a little, and but other than that, it's perfectly simple. Fit in there. That's all.
Thank you. Val,
No concerns, it's appropriate to the neighborhood.
what do you think about Diane's idea about the sheds?
I like it either way.
Either way?
Yeah.
Okay. Stephen, you ready?
Yeah, I think it's a nice design. It's appropriate for the area. Mark, I realize it's some 60 feet back from the road. You're going to have parking in front of the house.
And some screening.
Yeah, the front doors isn't a tremendous. I mean, I think conceptually, in terms of a design, it's a concern, but in terms of practical reality, it's not. The only thing I would suggest is if you felt it would change it up a little bit, one of them, maybe the one to the right, would, if it had a step off the front.
We can't, because we start to, well...
Well, the porch is already in the 20-foot setback.
Yeah.
So, if you had a step, this is the point.
I
And you can do with it what you will.
Okay.
Is if you put a step there, you could break the rail, and you would actually see a door, a full door. However, again, it's 60 feet away from the road, so
Right.
I'm not going to vote no on that topic.
It's actually a good idea, though, but so...
Set it in like you do have it now.
Well, but is there a setback issue with the step?
No, it's...
Or the one on the left, it doesn't matter.
Right, well, when we put the porch in, we indented the stairs into the porch because we didn't have any room on the sides. It's not to say that we could not put an entry steps on the front of this porch. It's not a setback issue.
Right.
So we could make that component change to identify the door, change the color of the door, change the style of the door as well, if that's something that this commission would feel would be a more appropriate response.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you,
I would
Mark.
like that.
See, it's interesting because I think Diane was just looking for some sort of a differentiation between the two doors, which are essentially symmetrical on the facade. And so one way of achieving that, I think, is to take the right-hand one, which is closer to the drive, and have a step come down there, and as Stephen says, remove that length of rail there, and then that will kind of say, this is the front door.
I got it.
Yeah, so that sounds like a good suggestion if you could do it.
I'm good with that.
Anything further, Stephen?
No other comments.
John? Good. And I am in favor of Stephen and Diane's collaborative suggestion of emphasizing that right-hand door as the, quote, front door. And, you know, I could go either way on the dormers, too, so I guess it all depends on who decides to make the motion on this one. Sounds like we're sort of neutral on that, Diane. If you want sheds there instead of gables, you could motion for that.
Make a motion, see if it lived. Make a motion to approve with shed dormers on the front and the right-hand front door a different color than the left hand, and the cut and the step put
Step facing south
Associated with the right-hand door.
with the right-hand door. Great. All those in favor of Diane's
Aye.
motion?
Aye.
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 Is this something that can be done through staff? or-
Oh, yeah, of course. Yep,
Okay.
that's all through staff.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next up, 2 Cottage Court. Mickey.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks. Hi
Gotta
there.
pick it up a little, Ray has to leave.
Just need to be on a conference call by 2:30. Doing all right. Okay. Okay, so Mickey has written up his own HSAB report, recommending review. Addition is.
I didn't.
What are these guys doing?
That's hysterical.
They're throwing you under the bus. Addition is large for context. Addition could be more subsidiary. Visibility may be mitigating factor. And of course, Mickey was not part of that. So, you want to just walk us through it, Mickey?
Yeah, this is this house was built in the 1830s. There's 3 on Cottage Court that were all pretty similar in style, 3 days. Sometime before 1923, the rear addition on the building was replaced, and it was kind of Victorianized. The bay was put on the front. The windows were changed to 2-over-1s. Since then, it's been abandoned for about 20 years. Nobody's lived in it. And the current owner started a kind of a renovation project and sort of abandoned it. He's kind of gutted the interior.
Yeah, I've been through that building.
Have you? Yeah, it's a real mess inside. In
It's
fact,
a mess.
Here's just to give you a flavor.
I took a picture of the
Pictures of
back.
the interior.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I've seen the inside of this. It's
That looks like your
quite
basement.
something.
There's a rotten hole in the floor in the kitchen area. And then, just for context in the neighborhood, the neighbor's house at the end of Cottage Court has, again, it's a similar 3-day style, but it's also been altered with a gable on the front and a pretty long addition, kind of a tall addition to the back. So we're proposing in this plan to replace the addition that was put on, the later addition, with a new addition. We've kept the ridge pretty low relative to the existing main ridge. We have, on either side, we have 1-story masses, a rear porch to keep the roof lines low. And then, as suggested from HSAB, there's some photographs taken from Warren Street. It's really the only vantage point to see the rear addition.
No, I took that one too.
You'll kind of see that it's not terribly visible, mostly because of the garage and the shed on the Warren Street side. You'll see the front of the house, but you really won't see much of the addition on the back from Warren Street.
Mickey, is cottage court a private?
You know, I looked on the street list. I think it is private. It doesn't.
Yeah, I don't
list
remember
it
seeing
as
that.
public.
I didn't dare go down it because I thought I wouldn't be able to turn around and get out.
You won't. Yeah.
It's not, I
Well-
don't think it's on roads and rights of way. List.
I do think, however, it would be fair to say that it's a publicly traveled way.
No doubt.
In other
Yeah.
words, you know, if you went down there, the neighbors couldn't say, "Get off my
Yeah.
property."
Yeah. Especially if you're wearing your HTC hat.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're not changing the front of the house at all, really. So.
Would anyone care to start?
I will.
Okay, Val.
Thank you, Mickey. It looks very nice. I have one request, and I don't know if you can fulfill it. Is there any way on the east to perhaps try to put a porch roof that mimics the porch that's presently there
You
over
read
the
my
stair?
Read
Because
mine.
that's the site that you see from Orange Street, and it's so
Yeah, I thought,
key to that house.
I do love that existing porch. It's just not in a good place for a porch. There's nothing on that side of the house.
Well, I'm not suggesting a porch, just a roof over your exterior stairwell to sort of mimic that. You know, with the detail at the top.
Yeah, I think that would be awkward to have that over a stairway going down. It's on a shed, a continuation of a shed roof too, so that I do see what you're saying. I could maybe use those details on the rear porch, and that would kind of,
It was just that because of the visibility, but
Can you actually see that porch from Orange Street?
yeah, I mean, if
You
he's
can peek
looking
through
on
there.
the sidewalk.
yeah, you stop
Okay.
and one small glimpse through.
You
I
don't
hear
think it would
I hear what
work?
you're saying though, Val. It's like it's a really charming element. Of
Marrying
the-
that to that existing shed to the side, it'd be, are you saying over the
That's a
stairway?
new piece, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but it would be an extension of that shed roof.
Right.
I'm not sure how that would even, how would I even draw that?
Well, I think Val's just looking like I am for some sort of reference back to that.
Yeah.
What I think everybody would agree is a very charming piece of that building right now, if possible. Was that the extent of your comment?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay. How about you, Diane?
I agree with that. I'd like to see that tried, and if it's impossible there, then to put it somewhere else where it'd be visible. Cottage Court is a funny little area, and as you drive down Orange Street, you wonder how you get to that house.
Yeah.
And whatever attention we can.
Oh, their
spend on
driveway's
it.
off the line.
And do you have anything further to add?
No,
You're okay with the addition?
I think it'll fit in.
Okay. Great. Stephen?
No comments.
Okay. John?
This is cottage.
One comment.
Yes.
Beside the old historic, and it's visible.
Yes.
I point to your number 2 windows.
Jack Van Loo's over.
Listed as
Number 2
number
window?
2 windows, Hopper, do they tip in or up?
Does it say hopper on the schedule?
It does.
Yeah, then they'll tilt in,
They tip in.
tip in. Yep.
Thank you. My question.
Mickey, you know, I'd love to sort of throw it back to you to see if there's some creative way that you could just sort of incorporate some, detail of that. And I'm not going to tell you how to do it.
Would putting it on, I've got the rear porch on there, and it's kind of abbreviated along that rear
Yeah,
elevation.
right.
If I were to extend that end to end, it would make it larger.
When you
Would
say
that-
end to end.
Of the
Oh,
gable,
oh,
the
no,
rear
I get what
gable
you're saying.
on the south.
But we won't see that.
Well,
You'll see the side of
You'll
it.
see the side of it, and the detailing would wrap around the side. I'm trying to make it functional, too.
I don't suppose there's any chance you could wrap that porch around onto the east elevation on
No,
that
it's-
side where there's no windows.
Yeah, obviously I could. It's not giving me much, but I could.
What do you think, guys? Should we?
Why can't it go there?
You mean where Val suggested?
Yeah.
Too low with the
I
roof
don't think
too
that,
low?
well, it wouldn't be too low because that's a basement stair, so it's sitting down at grade. I don't think it would be too low.
But it'd be-
You're just sort of questioning the.
I can show you that because I can't really picture. I mean, I know what you're saying. I think,
Yeah.
but it'd be like an extension. A solid shed, and then you extend that roof even further. So I think it's kind of mixing up the massing a little bit. But I can try showing you what it looks like.
Do you want to just take a look?
That would be
Before we-
great.
Put paid to it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so why don't we just look at that,
Yep.
because, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't.
Yep.
But I'd be interested in seeing it at least. Can I have a motion?
Motion to hold for a
Small,
minor revision.
Yeah, okay. All those in favor of Val's motion?
Aye.
Thank you. There you go. That's all part of the package, yeah. Okay, next up, 205 Eel Point. Oh, no, I missed one. 23 Monomoy.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, how are you?
Hello, Matthew.
Hey, Matt, welcome to our new digs.
What's
What do you
that?
think?
Welcome to our new
I know,
digs.
this is great.
Styling.
Is this going to be the way it is for moving forward?
Oh,
I'd like to read a statement for the record. So when do we read this?
Now I know why all those ZBA people are so power mad, because they sit in these chairs.
Yeah.
kind of feel like a judge.
I'm intimidated. I'm not going to lie.
We turned off the spotlight.
Thank you.
Right, the friolator.
The online streaming, by the way,
Friday.
switches from you guys to the applicant. It's like multiple camera angles. It's very well produced, just so you know.
What's that?
Like the online streaming, there's a camera, I think it's there.
Oh, you mean here?
Yeah. So it's like
Good to know.
this one, and then
I
I think
think
it's
only
on
the
you
board of
guys.
selectmen get that treatment.
Seriously. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Big
Bring your
production.
nose here.
all right. So new dwelling here at 23 Monomoy.
That's all I do. I don't watch anything else. I got rid of my cable package. Should I give a brief introduction?
Is he adding
We-
a dwelling
This
to the
lot
garage?
has had so much attention.
Yes.
This was the one that went to the ZBA.
Correct. Yes.
Owner changed.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
And
So-
the house is there, that's getting ripped down?
That's getting ripped down.
Is it the one
It hasn't
story?
even been there for 10 years. 21 used to own all the way from where the house is right out to Monomoy when it, makes a big bend to the right.
Yeah.
And then they divided the land up and built this one. But
You mean the house that
tear it
sits on
down,
this
it just
property?
isn't that old,
I don't know what it looks like.
I can give you a quick. There's a house on the property now.
Right.
And the previous owner had sought approval to demolish the house, which has been approved, and I believe that they had another house approved. The property changed hands. We represent the new owner, and so we're here to with a new home design. So
Yeah.
just
So
get rid of the old one and
So they didn't do that. Somebody
yeah,
else
it's already
did.
been approved, and
yeah, I mean, we approved a new house on this location 9 months ago.
yeah,
Maybe
Yeah.
less.
yeah.
And they just couldn't get ZBA relief, so they backed out of the deal.
Yeah, I think it was other factors too. I think that the sale of the property, I don't think they just didn't want to take on the project for whatever reason, so.
Okay.
So this is a new dwelling.
Come in.
Are you serious?
Like, yeah.
How
was just an
tall
11.
is it?
For a minute,
There's
I thought that
no,
was you.
no measurements on it.
Well, I mean,
30 feet tall.
Yeah.
John, did I just hear you talking about the previous approval?
No.
No.
The height listed on the application is 2910.
I'm curious what we approved the last time around.
I think it was in that range.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was
know
it
what
that tall?
You don't think they're
I don't know
appropriate?
if it was quite that tall, but, 29 and a half, 29.6.
Oh. Hey, remind
we
me,
see what it looks
who
like?
did that application?
It was, Woodmeister?
Yeah, right.
Oh, right. Yeah.
With the funny dormers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had really funny dormers when it
Yeah.
first came in. Yeah.
So 29 and a half. Still want to see it now?
What are all your colors?
I remember it now.
Matthew.
The colors are white. White sash, white trim, which I think is predominant in the Monomoy area. I think that, so it's white trim. It's pretty self-explanatory, I would say. The house is not significant in terms of its footprint. We have a limited footprint. It's roughly 1,800 square feet on the ground. We went with a 1.5 story structure, not a full 2 stories. 2/2 windows. Try to impart some level of exterior trim detail. Nothing too busy. We've got cottage corners. I try to keep it fairly straightforward and fairly simple. Got some wraparound porches. Obviously integrated some second floor decks. We do not have a roof walk, so we're familiar with this site. So with that, I'd love to hear what the board has to say or
Okay.
their thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you. Stephen, have you had a chance to digest?
Yeah, I think general comments, starting with the north, overall the design, a nice design. I think it's appropriate for the area. I appreciate the fact that you've kept the second story massing down, and especially with the roof treatments and even though some of them are 11, 12 pitches, it still reads as very low to the ground. There's a lot of fenestration in some areas, or maybe not a lot, but it's. I still think overall it's very balanced, and nothing jumps out as me as being an issue.
Thank you. You ready, John? Oh, you're doing some calcs over there. Val, how about you?
I agree with Stephen. I think it's a beautiful house. The only one element that I am questioning is this little roof around the east that's got all these brackets holding it up.
Oh, yeah.
I almost would prefer to just have that without a roof if you have to do that for some reason. It's really curious, but overall, nice design.
Mr. Chair, if I could, just the idea is that we want to try and maintain some covered walkway around to the back of the house, but avoid posts. So that was the thought behind it, but I can certainly look at that.
Yeah,
I think you'd be better off with Gus, honestly, man. And I think I'm going to mention something else too on that, but go ahead. So you're finished?
Yep,
Val?
yep.
Okay, Diane.
I also like the design. The only thing, couple of things, is on the east elevation. Is the reason that the windows are so small?
On the second floor?
Yeah.
Second floor and on the first floor, the east elevation, if the house is situated the way it the one is now. It looks out over that field that dips in that lower house, but you do get a view further up Monomoy as it curves around, and you can see the water.
So-
And I'd like to see, I think the house at 30 feet tall is prominent enough to have bigger windows.
On that gable end. I can tell you the rationale behind that is that one mass, if you will, is a bedroom. And so we have the double windows that face towards the water, but that basically is the bed wall. It's kind of our only bed wall. And we did look at that, but I can certainly look at options, for that.
And look at the lower windows.
The lower windows is more a function of just the utility of that space. I think it's a laundry room, but I can certainly look
See
at
what you can-
options. Yeah.
To do, and just because, like, you have the C windows up here on the north elevation.
They look bigger, actually.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, that's C1.
Oh, and that's
Yeah.
C. But the north elevation is what is pointed out over Martha, the house at that, across the street. And I think this is a facade and a house that's able to take its bigger windows as it will work with your program.
I can certainly discuss that with the clients, like I said.
Oh, I had one other thing I just thought of. Can you do more of a front door than French doors as the front door? It seems as though it should have
Oh, yeah.
a prominent front door.
We can try to minimize
Maybe with
the amount of
silage.
glass or I know what we're trying to do is maintain some level of symmetry and balance, and there's the fact that the idea is that one of the leaves is operable on the left, but I could certainly look at tweaking that.
That is the front door. right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it is, yes, it is. Compositionally, I think it works well with all the fenestration
floor
doors.
too, yeah.
But I could certainly take that and look at some options, Val and Diane.
Yeah, well, compositionally, you could have a solid door with side lights that would still line up with the stuff up above it. And you'd be more front doorish. That was your comment, right, Val?
Yep.
Okay, and both of you are set?
Yep.
And Stephen, you've spoken. Johnny, still working away?
Yes.
Okay. So I agree with this comment about I agree with the comment about the front door, and I also agree with the comment about the sort of rather small wraparound porch on that east elevation. So I'm wondering something, Matt, and trying to figure out, are you able to make that porch deeper? Because if you were, it would do a few things for us. One, it would allow you to have columns that weren't too close to the building, right? Two, it would make the roof, your porch roof, fall higher up on the wall plane so that you didn't have that sort of vast expanse of shingle between the top of that porch roof and those little teeny tiny D windows.
Yeah.
It'd sort of fill it out more. But I think that, what I'm saying should be used in conjunction with what Diane is saying, which is to go for bigger windows than those D windows. All in all, trying the effort of trying to fill out that gable a little bit more.
Yeah. And if I could comment on, one of the thoughts was, because the idea is that we will be pulling a car up a year, towards the end of the year to access the zoning shed, not that we're putting
Have
a car in there.
removable columns.
Huh?
Have little
Removable.
removable columns.
Right, we
Or
could
just
try
take
that.
them off.
That's an idea. So,
You want to think about it, kick
yeah,
it
yeah,
around?
definitely, yeah.
Now, John is making some calculations here. It's not looking good. for you.
Quadratic equations, what are we looking for?
Calculation, yeah.
Plugging in the porch algorithm or the deck
He's allowed
algorithm.
64 feet of running deck.
Yes.
He's got 78, so
He has 78 feet on this, huh?
16 feet shy. 16 feet over. That calculation is correct.
Well, if we eliminate that little wraparound porch,
That doesn't count.
There's only two decks all on one floor, the second floor.
What's the total amount? What is the total overall?
Total around
78.
214 feet around the whole building.
And he's at 60,
30%,
60 feet,
30%
60
of that.
square feet over? So he's,
He's 64 feet, and he has 78 feet.
Question that and do the calls.
I
He's
can look at that.
Just take a look.
so he's a smidge
Okay.
over.
Yeah.
About 14 feet from the
Okay. So it sounds like you got a few things that you might look out for us,
Okay.
Matthew.
Make a motion to hold for revisions.
Thank you, Diane. All those in favor of Diane's motion to hold
Oh,
for some
nice job,
revision?
Nat.
Thank you
Yeah,
all very much.
Good looking house. Very good looking. Thank you. Okay, now our 205, Eel Point Road.
Come on down.
Come on down.
Feeling better, sir?
No. You're the minimum distance away to stay
You
healthy.
want some vitamin C?
No, I'm taking this like horse pill antibiotic.
I'm having like the same thing, so we can like.
I went
Oh,
to two
great.
doctors.
So I'm moving this way.
I shouldn't have been there on Tuesday.
Yeah.
These things are like huge pills.
My son?
10
A whole
days.
bunch of
Same as Ida.
That's what I had.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I did the last one.
Okay.
All right.
Yes. So I think that maybe, John, did that letter go out to all the board members or just me?
I think the original one, and then there was another one that was submitted after it, so this is the most recent.
No, I just
Oh.
to you. You didn't forward it.
Not since like the one yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I forwarded it.
I didn't get it.
These two letters are the same.
Quite possibly, yeah. I just don't want to
Yeah.
confuse
One
it.
went to him and I handed you one.
Right, so yeah, the text is the same. Okay, so I'm just going to read this into the minutes for those of you who weren't able to read it. It comes from Terry, and it says, Dear HCC Commissioners, as a co-owner of the property at 26 North Cambridge, I wish to express my concern about the two 4-foot stone walls proposed to run roughly north-south on the Nantucket Harbor side of the property. I don't object to the pool per se, but I'd like to point out that there are no pools on any properties abutting the Nantucket Harbor shoreline. Interesting. For that reason, the pool should be adequately screened. That being said, due to the rise of grade from the water to the low brush in the area, I am extremely concerned about the visibility of the walls from the water, which is under HDC considered a publicly traveled way. The natural plants in that grow along the shoreline consist of beach plum, bayberry, rosa rugosa, and beach grass, and are very hardy against the storms that buffet this shoreline. Cedars tend to grow along the roads and are suffering from the pine blight. I do not believe the natural growth in the area will adequately screen the walls, and any other plantings would look very out of place. Less terracing and more sloping would better serve the site. I also want to draw to the HCC's attention Mr. Stephen Cohen's review of concerns in regards to the pool application for 13 Hoyks Hollow Road. He reminded the Commission that HTC encourages people to work with the topography and for pools and tennis courts to be subgrade. Here, as at Hoyks Hollow, they've created a plateau in a historically sloping area with the use of the retaining walls. This area, as with Hoyks Hollow, is a very rural area, especially on the Nantucket Harbor side. Lastly, I want to point out the historic significance of this area. The area between Warren's Landing and this property is believed to be where the first white settlers landed on Nantucket. Thank you for your consideration of my concerns, Terry Norton. Thank you, Terry. Here's the letter for those of you that want to read it again. So there we are, and now we have your application. And would you like to walk us through it, please?
Sure. Sure. So there are two submissions by the same project. So I will just walk us through it. But it's practically one is for the pool and hardscape, and one is for tennis court. But I will
Okay.
just take this opportunity and walk us through it together. So
as you can see, I create little cross sections just to help little navigate what's happening with the grade, because the grade is have its topography and it goes up and down with the grade, and I am trying to work with the grading. Also, as you can see on your bigger version, it's hard on my small version, there is existing grades line, how the grade slopes down in a dash line on this cross section, and then what I am doing to set the landscape in. So starting from the hill point, we have a drive in, and the driveway branch out to the garage, which is going below by the tennis court. So as you can see, the buffer between the hill point and where I'm cutting in the secondary drive into the garage actually slopes up. So if my elevation of Hill Point Road is around 22, the peak of the landform, of the existing landform and the vegetation we are not going to be touching, is at 30, I believe so, at 32. So the land gradually slopes up, and then that's where I'm cutting my secondary driveway, and you can see right over the car line, I'm almost driving like cutting like 6 feet in to cut the secondary drive in to the garage. I can slow down. I just want to make sure we can be follow. I can be followed.
Yeah, we're following.
We good for now? Okay. So the garage and the access to the garage with the appropriate retaining what I need, all faced away from the hill point. The maximum of that retaining is all from meeting the grade to maximum height of 4 feet. Then between the secondary driveway into the garage and the main parking area is situated the tennis court. Again, as you can see in the cross section, the tennis court is sunken, and at the same time we are using this area to locate the septic leaching field. So the tennis court is sunken to elevation 22, so I'm another 3 feet lower than the secondary drive-in. And as of now, I have proposed the finished floor for the tennis court at elevation 22 with the 3 feet retaining, plus we have a 10 feet tennis court enclosure, or 8 feet tennis court enclosure. In meantime, since I filed the application, I had a conversation with the surveyor, and I would like to drop this tennis court another foot. So even make this tennis court even a little bit lower.
You mean drop it into the grade more?
Exactly. So from the elevation 22 to 21. And it was a discussion, and it's just been recently confirmed that they can do it. The septic can still handle these elevations.
So a question follows from that. So does that mean that the retainage that you have, everything else remaining equal, that would mean that you would have 3 foot high?
4.
Oh, 4. Yeah, it would be 4.
I think I can make it work between maybe 36 to. I can still slope.
I'm not sure that I'm overly concerned about the height of the walls because they're all facing into the tennis court.
I am more concerned to have less fence visible at
Right.
So lowering the tennis court, I will have the less fence enclosure, which again will be fully screened with the vegetation, especially from the view from Hill Point. Full screen. So that's the little change from what I submitted, and then so that's I got to the tennis court. Then I have the primary driveway driving up to the main parking courtyard, which is at the elevation of 25. And from this point, this is practically my highest elevation where the cars are parked. And the main house is situated. The finished floor is at 3 feet lower. So we are practically, the house is set 3 feet lower, same the pool, and everything is set in the grading. So that's the first point, what Terry brought up. I tried to work with the grades. As you can see, you have the dash line. Then we have a pool. I would like, again, use the more attractive way of the pool enclosure instead using the fences. And plus, again, so I'm using the retaining wall plus infinity edge to gain my 4 feet enclosure, and that's where the walls, the 4 feet wall happens. As you can see, all these walls are fully planted, going to be proposed vegetation. I'm going to use native plants, including the bayberries. I actually prefer more bayberries viburnum combo. Bayberries like amazing. We can get I can get them at 4 feet to start with. They are actually perfect to use the weather and elements abuse for this site. These landscape itself, the selection of the planting will be literally just native plants. I want to do the combination of the bayberries, viburnum, beach grasses, and I do want to. I just need only 4 feet to hide these walls or make these walls less visible. And I'm pretty confident with the distance from the harbor and with the buffer of undisturbed vegetation from the harbor between the edge of the water and the location of the retaining walls. I am pretty confident that the walls will not be visible.
Can I ask you a question?
You ask and then I ask.
Yeah. Maybe our questions are the same, and maybe they're not. But so my question is, where's the 4 feet taken? Like, I thought it was taken from the bottom of the wall. That's the invisible edge wall of the pool. So if that's the case, and you've got another little thing for your retention thing, then the actual height of the wall above the retention thing is not 4 feet, it's less than 4 feet.
No, so to that point, no. The top of the wall and top of the grade is 4 feet. The infinity edge, because the water line is usually 6 inches below the coping.
Okay.
Right, it's not at the height of the coping.
Okay.
It's 6 inches. That's where the infinity edge and receiving pool comes into effect, because the water and the bottom of receiving pool actually drops. So where the receiving pool is, you actually get a little bit more height.
So it's like 6 feet.
It's 6 feet, exactly. It's 6 feet. It can be even deeper, but you just don't see it. It goes
Can
in
I ask
the
you a
ground.
question then?
Of course.
All right.
Or lower.
So, take everything that you just said, except for the height of the wall that's creating the receiving pool. If that wall were taller, and you bermed up to that, then the net that you would be looking at of the wall behind it, the real wall, the infinity edge wall, would be less than 4 feet.
If you just like the visual portion of it,
Yeah.
Okay.
like when I look from outside of the pool to the waterfall.
As seen from the harbor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you correct. You see less.
So right now, from the top of that little wall right there to the top of the other wall, you're telling me is 4 feet.
From top of the wall to the
This
top
of that wall to the top of that wall is 4 feet.
where the water.
Which is
yes.
actually more than what you need if that drops down, right?
Yes.
Which it does. So all I'm saying is, if you raise this up like a foot, then you're actually only going to see 3 feet of the 4 foot high wall, not 4 feet.
If it's
Because you're going to be able to berm more.
Yes, but where the issue might end is where the receiving pool meets the wall.
Yeah.
And where I still need to keep my 4 feet. So I still need to have the top of receiving pool and top of the wall in that clear 4 feet, so I don't
That's
end
a
up...
code issue.
So I don't end up conflicting...
I get that.
Yeah.
Now, that's on the sides, right?
Yes, but
Not
what you are
along the-
saying, I could, or if I just keep the design as it is, I can berm in the front of the walls. I have a
can
space
berm in
for
the
it
front of the
to
walls.
actually create a berms. Right now, I'm just meeting the existing grade, but now if I assume like this is my receiving pool, if a piece of paper is my receiving pool, I can literally practically come up with the 12, 18, even 24 inches berm right on the
Yes.
in the front of the walls. Yeah,
Yes,
and
yes.
Actually, that's a great idea. I actually like it a lot. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah,
that's
the
what
other
actually-
thing,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well, and I'm using up all the time, but Diane, I definitely know you have a question over there. So what I'd love to personally see is, so I get everything from the road back. I think for me, that's all fine. And so this issue of visibility from the water, I'd like to see sort of a blow-up of that showing existing and proposed grade utilizing this little berm idea, because I think that might actually work out well. Diane, you were going to ask a question.
I have a question is, that how far back from the beach does the pool begin?
So I can, how far unfortunately, I don't have my scale with me, but I left the water, the 50 feet wetland buffer zone, the blue
50
lines
foot
there.
buffer zone.
So I have a little scale, but we know the water. So I'm taking, if this is 50, this is just the actually
It's
coastal
150
dune.
feet back.
It's yeah. I would almost suggest even more because the water line right now, it's not even shown.
It's 150 feet from the edge of the coastal dune.
Yeah, and there is.
And that's not actually the beach.
The water.
beach is on the other side.
Yeah, so it's extra another 50 to 75 feet.
All right.
John
So-
measured, he says it's 260 from the beach head to the retaining wall.
To that retaining wall.
There's
In
the water.
this particular location, which is a natural location, it disturbs me to see
13 is 26.
all these walls. A 4-foot wall, which you can do what you want, but it's going to be seen from Eel Point Road. This is the beginning of a very natural area going around, and I'm not sure that I think that is the location for the swimming pool. When you come in from Eel Point Road and the driveway seemingly splits, one goes around to the right and goes up to the guest house, right? And the other comes around and ends up on the other side of the guest house with a parking courtyard.
Right.
Along that curb that goes around and goes up to the guest house, there you have a 4-foot retaining wall. What are you retaining?
So
Where-
sorry.
Where's that?
Up here.
It's right here.
Just to
And
clarify, you don't go up, Diane, you go actually below.
I'm saying up because
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, sorry.
the drawing.
So, yeah,
You
so.
know how my mind works.
Absolutely, yes. So if I am at my split, and let's call it my split, I'm around 25, 24.
24 is the
So
split.
the main driveway into the parking courtyard is practically leveled, but then the split, what goes to the garage below the guest house, goes from this 24 to like 17, 18.
Right,
So that goes down. So all that retaining, I just need to retain that little berm, and that's
That-
all
but
retaining.
that's a 4-foot wall, and why can't you retain it with a berm following the natural land rather than using a wall?
So just because it's little excessive cutting in, and my grades next to it are so I'm doing combination of two. So my grade is I need to go to elevation 18, 17, and the grades above near it's around 26. So and I just am using 4 feet wall. So practically the top of my wall is around elevation 21, and I'm still berming additional 4 feet. So I try to split the difference. And just to go back to the point, all these are facing in.
Sorry, one thing that you haven't yet said.
I'm sorry.
Is the reason that wall is there, Diane, is cutting down to the grade because they're getting a garage underneath of that guest house.
Right.
This is going down like basically to the basement of the guest house.
Right,
You know what I mean?
but, and you have,
Well, I have a question that might, I don't know.
Well, let's see if Diane's.
Yeah.
well, that's not on the plan anywhere, so I was not aware of that, but I still think that you don't need a wall that starts way back here at 4 feet and goes all the way up if what you're trying to do is park cars under that guest house.
That's what they're trying to do.
I don't think that a 4-foot high stone wall is appropriate in this area. I think you can do more with the...
Diane, I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you clarify what wall? I'm not.
This.
Here it is. See this right here, Stephen? This guest house?
Yep.
Okay. This is dropping down.
Yeah.
Okay? And
she's
the
talking
reason
about this
she's
wall?
talking about this wall right here.
Which is actually below grade.
Yeah, I mean, it's this, but it's further down, because the more you go down, you're cutting to get underneath of this building.
It goes even further down.
Yeah, it does. And so Diane is looking at that where it says 4-foot max retaining wall and questioning why you need that much retainage.
Okay, thank
But
you.
it's basically to get underneath of this guy.
Gotcha.
Because it goes from 24, and you've got 21, and 22, and 21, and 20. That's a pretty flat area, 2 feet changing. It isn't until you make the turn and go towards the guest house that you drop down to 17. I don't see the necessity to have that whole stone wall going all along Eel Point Road until it's absolutely necessary.
You're
to do
looking
that.
at the back, you're looking at like the top of it. It's kind of like if you're on Eel Point Road,
Yep.
you're looking, it
Yeah.
drops down like
not
this, so
visible.
you're not
Goes
really
down.
seeing it.
It's not visible.
However,
If I
however,
can-
I think that it would provide the board with, A, further information, and B, further assurance of its invisibility, if just like you did with this one section where the pool is, take a section going the same way through the guest house.
I see.
Then you'd be able to see the sliver of wall in relation to Eel Point Road and your berm and all that stuff, and I think that that would provide more assurance about the fact that it's, down and concealed.
If I just make,
But the other thing is, I would like you to look around and see if there is any moving of that swimming pool, taking it off the side that faces the harbor. You've got another 4-foot retaining wall, which goes to be your pool retaining wall before you get down to the retention one. I don't know whether you can take the swimming pool and put it where the pool house is and put the pool house over where you can see it from the harbor. This is a very special point when you're in the harbor. It's the beginning of Pirate Cove, and I think that we should try and keep it as natural as possible and not maintain a bunch of walls to put in a swimming pool that you might be able to put somewhere else and not have to have all those retaining walls. The retaining walls on both the west and the east. I just think there are a lot. That's what I
Thank
have
you,
to
Diane.
say.
Thank you.
could I respond to questions?
I haven't said anything
Yeah,
yet.
go ahead.
I think overall, I remember when we approved these buildings, there was going to be some retaining. I think overall, there's a tremendous amount of hardscaping, whether you can see it or not. And I would like to see, why do we have so much, first of all, I don't know what the driveway material is, or the patio material, or the wall material.
It's a crash, sorry, it's on submission, I apologize.
And couldn't we make the driveway cut go north so that it curves in above the tennis court and into the garage, thereby leaving all of this natural, and scooting the tennis court south and then just cutting into the parking court that way? You would eliminate a whole giant section
right.
going, and it is weird to kind of come in and the first thing you see is a tennis court, although I love what you're doing with it, which is dropping it down.
Yeah.
I just feel like this is so grand and so huge, and then we have this parking court that's bigger than the house.
Right.
And I know, again, it's on ground, we can't see it except if we're flying over, but what is that?
It's a,
You mean the material?
I apologize, it's on the submission, crash bluestone or gravel.
Okay.
Crash bluestone. I apologize for.
No, it's okay. I just am wondering if overall it could just get simplified a little bit more to fit into the area a little better. And what do you think if the pool moved in front of the house and went in front of that, and then it would move all of this patio stuff that way? I'm asking you.
Oh, well, I was just looking at that. If it
Can I ask a couple
becomes less-
questions before we redesign this whole thing?
Sure.
Okay.
So,
So,
mind, Val?
No,
I'll come back to you.
it's okay.
I mean, if they're going to talk between, I would like to,
Yeah, go for it.
so, America, the pool side that you've got, I understand that the lower pool is at grade, so, and to the left of that, further up towards the house, you have another patio retaining wall, 2-foot retaining wall that's at elevation 18? Okay. And then,
Yes.
so then, those are basic, and what you're showing in your cross-section is those are nearly at grade, or with a berm, those will be at grade.
Yes.
Okay. So then the net effect will be that you have a pool retainage wall, a wall that's part of the pool, and a retaining wall that approximately 3 feet will be visible from, which is, how long is it? 25 feet?
It's okay if I just click inside. I'll just get rid of the...
This is 25 feet?
Yes.
Okay, and then this portion will be 2 feet will be visible, but if you berm less than 2 feet will be
Yes.
visible. Okay, so basically you have 25 feet that will be approximately 3 feet visible, and the remainder of that wall will be anywhere from 2 to 3 feet
Yes,
visible
that's correct,
along
yeah.
the water side. The lower, the retaining wall closer to the water would not be visible at all.
Yes.
And then insofar as from the street, we're at elevation 25, the retaining wall, and I understand Diane's concern about the stone and having that be out there, but if it's not visible, frankly, it's not our concern.
Why isn't it visible?
Because it's 8 feet below grade.
Wait,
It goes from a 24-foot, a foot below grade, to 8 feet below grade.
Diane, this is Hill Point,
Yeah.
and this is that little drive. So
Right.
that's the wall. So this wall faces to the main house.
Yeah.
And it goes below. So the only location you can see this wall is if you stand here.
you
And
can't
look.
see, you can't
cannot
see this wall at all?
Would you show her where
No.
the 8 feet drop ends?
I-
I think it's a conceptual matter here.
Yeah,
No,
so
Maybe
I
it's
think-
3.
I'm good with getting the section, but I want to be clear. Personally, I understand the concerns of the other commissioners about and I agree with the amount of patio and stuff, and I think there's things could be done to soften it up. But with respect to some of this retainage wall, it's a conceptual matter of communication. It's not visible.
Yeah,
That isn't.
Yes.
This is.
In the rear, it is, yes. And in the rear,
but I think she can fix that.
she can fix it. So I just
Well,
wanted to be clear on what my
I think it was
understanding
Andrew
was.
that did this, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
He did the house. Yeah.
He did a house out in, I don't remember where, Squam or something, and he did all these 3Ds that we could see the house in relation.
Oh, that was North Road.
So if he could do that, maybe it would help
Yeah.
us.
A rendering, yeah.
Yeah,
agree with that.
I mean, there was a lot more topo there
Right?
than here, but there's topo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Conversation, I
Um,
can't hear.
Well, keep in mind what
A rendering
Val
would be
said
helpful.
about making just one driveway like that.
All right.
I'm sorry, thank you. I just wanted to.
Well, first of all, John, you have anything you want to
do.
mention?
According to this letter here,
That's your friend down the end of the table, you know.
yeah. Looking at the, first of all, from the
You're gonna have to
top
leave,
of the
right?
retaining wall, the 25 feet on top of where the pool is, the 25 from that retaining wall out to the water is 260 feet, according to this scale here. Right? So it's not that far away. 250 feet, not even as long as this building. This is a big building. Anyway, in front of the 2-foot wall, that was burned for 20 feet in front of it. And put some good, strong trees in there that'll live year-round. The trees would help, that cuts out anything towards the water, right? And, there's my other question here. That would block the visibility. Now, if you're going to the swimming pool, the height of the swimming pool, the water, all right, and that 4-foot wall, looking in from over here. Looking in, this doesn't show where it's bermed or covered. There's nothing showing there. So we're lacking some stuff on these plans. And these scribblings over here don't mean anything because they're too low. They won't help. There's got to be, I'll say, a minimum of some trees in here, in front of this area here, in front of the pool towards the water. You should put in 3 rows of trees, 1, 2, 3 on angles, and try to block it the best you can. And that would solve that problem of visibility there. And the other one was the material for the fence for your 60 feet wide. It's got 6 sections. It's 120 feet, excuse me. The description of the fence here.
You mean for the tennis court?
Yeah, for the tennis courts. That's
60 feet wide by 120 long.
right, and it's
And look at the fence.
4 foot 1.5 inches in height. I can't
That's a
catch
short.
that.
It's just about, yeah,
That's
it's just
a
like,
swimming pool
that's,
enclosure, John.
That's a swimming pool. with-
Yeah.
It's a swimming pool.
A fence
I was
we
trying to
don't-
remember where it is.
so,
Right.
yeah, so it's a black wire.
Where is the definition here of how many feet of fence going to be there?
Tennis court or pool?
The pool.
Pool. The only fence it's highlighted. It's just around the back part of the pool. There is
See
no
the blue line,
She's
John?
not showing it in
It
the
goes
section.
all the way up
It's here.
and joins the house.
She's just not showing it in the
It's
section.
because I don't need. It's not visible in the section. The only fence comes from the house and comes back here. The section comes here, so the fence is before. I don't have any fence here. I'm not showing this in elevation, and that's correct.
What kind of fence?
have one
Not
other
seen a
comment.
fence like that before.
Diane, hang on one
For
second.
knowledge,
sorry.
John just has one more thing
Oh,
he needs to
yeah.
where the guest house is, on the northeast corner, it's 120 feet from there to the public road. So, I'm just saying that's how far it is off the road. It's not that far off.
Thank you. Thank you, John. Go ahead.
On their swimming pool fence enclosure, that is not a fence that I have seen used very often or at all for a swimming pool fence. And you go from the edge of the swimming pool all the way around zappity zap to and going into that corner of the house. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. I believe if you look up the driveway, if you keep the driveway the way it is and don't change it to what's been suggested to you, that fence is going to be visible, and it's a heavy fence for a pool fence to me. And the other thing I wanted to ask you is, over where you have the main house, go west, you go to a patio, and then you'll see 2 double strips, little ones, one at elevation 20 and one at elevation 18. What are those?
That's what actually Stephen was trying to help me to give you more details. Those are risers. So actually what happened, the walls, once you pass the swimming pool, the grading actually slopes with the walls, and I would like to just work with the grades and just the stones on edge to help you practically climb the wall down. So it's literally just the blue stone on edge, as a riser, just a little.
It's like
stone
a
on edge.
step in the landscape, Diane.
Step in the landscape.
Okay, it's just,
This is
it,
this side.
Yeah.
Can't-
some of these should be done, sort of said what it is. So anyway,
I have a question.
I don't think that the fence
Do you need this one, Mirka? The one that says 2 feet retaining? That doesn't relate to the pool.
It relates to this corner. No, it does. Yeah, you're correct. It does not. So
Redo some of that?
Yes, I can.
I have a question when it's.
Go for it, Steve.
Okay. Mirka, I would appreciate, I think it's really more a comment than a question, I guess. Well, actually, the comment on the stone wall material, I'm a little concerned that the square cut granite is not organic looking enough. I think round might be too much, so I don't know if there's like a field stone alternative you might be able to
Or
propose.
like mix, maybe a little bit.
I think something that looks a little more blend in terms of the organic aspect of it. And then I think it would be helpful because I agree with the concerns that the commissioners have stated. However, much of my understanding, and I want to be clear on my understanding before I vote on this, is that much of it's not visible. And what I would like to suggest is that you provide 2 additional sections. So you've currently provided this section, which runs from this point in the property to this point. That's this section.
Yes.
I would like to see, to address Diane's comments and concerns, and to make sure that they're addressed one way or the other, is a section here that shows where this retaining wall is relative to this building in the garage. So if you did, you could set it up and we would have a slice story to look at. And then the other one I think that's important, because the pool fence came up, is if you did a section here, which shows the grade and the elevation here, coming through to where the pool fence is, and what you would see the retainage wall, and of course any berming you put in. So that would give us 3 elevations. I think they're all relevant, and I think it might actually be more successful than a rendering.
Well, I was going to say,
North Road
do
really
those.
helped us.
Yeah.
I think Steve's spot on with that, right? That'll answer a lot of questions. I also think that Val had mentioned that similar grade and retaining issues came up at 10 North Road, and Andrew provided some perspectives, some site perspectives, which I didn't sit on it, but they were very helpful.
I thought they were very helpful.
Yeah, so I think we need that, and I think that to the extent that you're able, we would like to mask the retainage as seen from the public way of the water.
Yeah.
So those are the things we'd be looking for the next hearing.
A motion to call for additional information and minor revisions at this point.
Great, okay, thank you. All those in favor?
And renderings. Rendering sections
Yeah.
and...
Okay, all those in favor of Stephen's motion?
Thank you.
And so we'll do the tennis court to track?
Oh, yeah, I guess so, but
I think, well, it's all part and
yeah,
parcel.
exactly, because it will be the same
Okay.
updated plan.
Do you want to just take
Now, folks, I gotta go to my conference call. I feel terrible. So,
Just so you know, this is standing on the beach looking at the house that was there or is still there, so it really is not that far.
concerns.
well, that was the John's point.
I don't think I should have.
Can we notice any of this for next Tuesday? I know next Tuesday's
One here at the
organization,
pool,
but just to clear the
One here
dock.
at the house. One
And,
here somewhere.
Val has a
And then I
bunch of
think
stuff, and
together
I
we'll be able to
don't
see
want to
what
leave her
we're
with a short board.
Because, yeah, I'm bringing the grade.
So what do we do?
This is the house that's there, and I'm standing on the beach.
And we could possibly start at 4
I think we did.
next week.
Whenever we start, no, that's all fine. I'm just asking
That's
whether
the
it's
house
going to be
that's
able to
going
be
away from
noticed,
us.
so that we can put this stuff on the beginning of next Tuesday's agenda.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you calling a meeting now?
I have to be on a conference call like right now, so I got to get the information. I'm sorry.
Do you want us to do anything with the people that?
Well, so now here's a story, everybody. I have to leave. You're going to still have, I think, Stephen, John, Val, and Diane. Diane would be chairing the meeting. So am I okay to say that we could still hear, or you guys would be around to review some more? Is that all right?
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, if I don't have to do all of mine, I can.
I'm here till we're
Yours,
finished.
You know, if you want to wait till Tuesday.
John, are you
I'll
here
be
till
there
we're
too.
finished?
Tuesday
Well,
is
Tuesday we
our-
have an organizational meeting, so...
No, but we take these things that, whatever isn't
Oh, you
heard
wanted-
today,
oh, gotcha.
go to the beginning of Tuesday. So you have a choice, either today or Tuesday, first order of
If you're
business.
going to put all this on an organizational meeting, it's going to be a short organizational meeting.
Well,
I think
let's
it would
keep
be good
going.
if we could
Yeah,
get
let's stick
going.
around and get going.
Ray,
I'm really sorry I have to leave.
Ray, I think you'll feel a lot better if you get some Patty's Irish whiskey. Clean you right up.
I've got my bottle right here, Joe.
Feel better.
Yeah.
Bye.
This
This
is,
is, we got 25B Clifton. Okay. I'll read your fab.
Go for it.
It says
Welcome.
completely out of character on Clifton Street, Burnell neighborhood. Too tall, too massive in a cottage environment. A neighborhood killer. That was Rob Benchley, Carolyn Ellis, and Mary Will.
They apparently didn't look right across the street at Finback.
Recommend view and not appropriate.
That
You mean
development,
Blackfish?
Blackfish.
That's why I was
Yeah.
Finback's on the other side.
Finback, Blackfish, you know.
No,
But
it's, I
this
agree.
complete, to me,
Where's Clifton? Right there in the middle?
It's right
Yeah.
in
this
the
is
corner
where
of Burnell.
Adriana
This one.
Davidson's house was and got moved off of.
It just got moved backwards, right?
That was the last place on the end of that street.
Right across the street is that
Look at how these
development, yeah.
houses.
It looks like all the, I disagree with them completely.
I mean, I believe moving towards, deeper towards
Why
Wisconsin.
don't you tell us what you
Sure.
have got as
The
a
other
dwelling?
end of Clifton, I would concur, but this end, no.
So, do you want me to do a short presentation? Or?
Yeah,
Okay.
just give us a quick,
So, this was a previously much larger lot, or a very, very large lot that Val had mentioned that has been subdivided, and kind of a 60s or 70s style house was moved literally north on the lot to make way for a new dwelling. We've designed this as, in keeping with what's happening on Blackfish and Plainfield, which are, they're not the lowest of structures, to be completely honest, but in keeping with what is happening in the Burnell area. It's a all-natural color, black windows, fairly straightforward additive massing, not very fussy trim or anything. It's pretty, I guess, down and dirty from like a trim perspective and a casing perspective.
is that his front door?
And that's the
All right.
basis of it.
Dad, you want to begin?
Sure. I had some reservations when I first saw the address as well, but I went out there, and this is right on the corner. If you're standing at this lot and looking across Burnell, as I said, is the Blackfish, which this is very congruent with all of those structures that have just been put up and very handsome. I just have two little comments. One, the E windows in your shed dormers the panes appear to be more horizontal than vertical. If you could change the grill pattern or perhaps make them taller.
Okay.
And can you at all whittle away some of the width on the chimney on the west?
Just thin it up a little
Where
bit,
is it?
or bury it a little bit more.
No, it's
Oh.
just a straight run, but it just seems kind of fat.
Oh, you'd prefer it narrower.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
How many flues you got in there?
Presently, it's just set for one, but there might be one in the basement that I don't know about. That's why it's a little wider.
Okay, well, check that
But
out.
just a slight
I
bit.
can pull 6 inches out of it easy.
But all in all, I think it's very complimentary
Fixed.
to that area.
All right,
Thank you.
Stephen?
I think it's appropriate design for the area. I think, Val, were you speaking of on the west, in addition to your comments, the west elevation, that small F window in the gable?
No, I didn't mention that one. I was talking about the south. It has two little shed dormers that have E windows, I think it is.
Right.
And they just need to either be
If
taller
if-
or make the panes more vertical by adding a grill or
chiclets.
something.
If you look in the gable, it's the same window turned sideways, and that's why it appears that way.
Ah, okay, so maybe that.
So I would just suggest that particular F be a 4 light versus a 6 light. I think it would be in keeping with the 2/2.
On the gable.
Yeah, and more
Yeah.
proportionally appropriate. And
Okay.
other than that, no comments.
Johnny?
I'm going to hold a minute, please.
All right,
Excuse me.
I can say, the front door,
There's nothing that says fixed.
It's picture.
I don't know that it's
It's a picture.
not in keeping or in keeping with the design of the house, but perhaps it could have like 3 panels in it or 2, one,
As opposed to a V-groove slab,
yeah,
like more of a shaker style or
yeah,
like
it doesn't seem quite as formal as the house does, which isn't all that formal, but I think it would be good.
you still prefer like a solid panel door, excuse me, as opposed to something with light or glazing. We're trying to keep it kind of simple.
Yeah, I don't think you need glazing so much, but just
I could
a solid.
I could change it to a
4-panel?
or maybe a 2 under 1, something like that broken up.
Okay, yeah,
Is
that would be,
I'd be
Or
happy
put
with-
a mullion in the middle, so it's a 2-light,
to do that guy.
yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
The client was amenable to like lots of options, and we went with just like the simplest. So adding a little bit of formality is not a problem.
Yeah,
I'm
just
totally fine
enough to
with
pull that front together.
I'm
Steve,
totally
please.
happy with this. He went to the bathroom.
It looks like he's still got stuff over there. He liked it. Johnny's just finishing up. Other than that, you can check out if you need the room for 2 flues or a single flue.
They're in between. It might end up being the basement one might end up being gas, and it's a non-issue. So I have no problem shrinking that down 6
All right.
inches. Either way.
That would be good.
It's up to you, John.
Oh, wait, you show me a picture window.
The picture windows are all these small windows. So Anderson, instead of selling a fixed window, Anderson calls what they sell a picture window.
Right here.
Right. So you probably put it in the schedule that way.
I think they're listed as their like proper schedule names right now.
Yeah, they're APW
Yep.
Anderson picture windows.
Correct. So those little guys are non-operable.
Yeah,
They're not
that's-
Well, I
huge.
would make a motion then
Okay,
to approve through staff with the panes on the E-windows
right.
becoming more vertical. The way you achieve that's up to you. The chimney being slightly narrowed on the west.
Yeah.
And
front
changing the front door
To a,
to a...
4-light with 2-panel below.
With the 2-panel,
And the
yeah.
F's 404.
And the what, sorry?
The F's.
And the F being changed to a 4-light on the west.
Or, yeah, sorry, 4 light.
The west gable was 4-light.
Yeah.
Got it.
and that's in the west. Okay, all those in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're gonna get all that on there?
Yeah. All right, the next one is,
Mark Maguire. Is he
Oh.
still here? Hi, Mark.
How are you today?
this is the move-off demo.
Yes. I think the rendering I went through. I think the rendering will help build, right?
It's not Hiltz's, is it? Oh.
No, it's not. It was Rotundo's.
All right, anybody have any comment, questions, or do you want to tell us anything, Mark?
No, I'm just trying to offer the house for somebody that needs a house instead of having to carry
Do
it
you
down
know
at
when
the
it
end of
was
the year.
built? Is it like the 60s?
No, this is a 1980. I have the same shutters on my house. This is an early 80s.
I don't have any problem with it moving or
Do you have
demo.
any issues?
Hopefully someone will take it.
That's my hope as well.
John, do you have any issues?
Do you have any idea what you're going to put there?
What I'm going to put there? I have no idea at this point.
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Anybody opposed? All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Welcome.
I like Mark's decision.
The next one is
Johnny Trudeau.
John here?
Yes, I am.
Here, front
You
and
are
center.
already.
Johnny Trudeau.
This is 11R
McLaughlin.
Union Street, and Hashab says, what do they say? Voters reference but no submitted.
The what?
It says photos reference but no submitted.
We're here.
So I guess they talk about pictures, but they didn't get it. Chimney needs to remain due to historic streets context, sorry. And that's it. They don't make many other statements. They just say that they didn't get any photographs and they want the chimney to remain. So, what would you like to do?
Well, I did take a picture of the street line looking down at the house, and with the chimney, in reference to that, there is not a chimney to the immediate left, two houses, and I can show you this. My concern with the chimney is there obviously isn't a fireplace in the house, and we have four
And this is a
dormers.
new house,
It is a
right?
brand new house. It's not a renovation or a restoration. It's a brand new house. We'll call it a reproduction. And there are four dormers on the top there, and they have a five pitch, and the main part is a 10. So I'm just
You're gonna get ice
leery-
cans.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm concerned about. If I put a chimney, and although I do like the look of it, if I put it with that low pitch, I'm going to collect ice and snow and potentially have water leaks up there. And if you'd like, I can just show you a picture of that. Can pass that down. So that's the house that we're talking about, the white one. And as you go down the list, there isn't a chimney, so I don't feel it would be out of character not to have it in this particular sense.
Why is that 11R?
The one to the left of it is 11. This
And it
was,
split the lot, right?
yes, correct.
Oh, so the
Because I lived
are
at
in
the other
drawing,
end.
so the drawing
Yeah.
is the same.
So when you leave Main Street, you're walking down the street to see the white one first, and then you'll see to the left the yellow trim house, and as you go away from Union Street.
So
Great.
may I?
Yes,
The
please.
building is visually interesting. I don't know that, given its size and of where the chimney would be relative to the street and the height of the building, that even if there were a chimney, I don't know that you would see it. And I mean, you might see
can't
it from
see
an
it,
angle
yeah, yeah.
obliquely, but I don't personally see an issue of appropriateness with not having it. This was a faux chimney that would have been on there?
Yes.
So you're
of course.
removing the fake chimney? Okay.
Yep.
What about you, Val?
I'm fine with it.
Johnny?
Any air conditioners going?
There is a air conditioner, but I did take a picture. I put a cedar surround around that, and I can show you what I did with that.
John, is it a central or are they mini splits?
No, this is a central, so there's behind there is the condenser, and that has this.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
Yeah,
Aye.
I was just going to speak, but that's all right, you're
I'm
already
sorry.
Go ahead.
Just looking at the time, Madam Chair.
All right,
It's all right.
there you go. I don't, I am a chimney person, but looking at those three houses going up there, there aren't, so it's really not a matter of the streetscape. Otherwise, I would want you to do it, but that's
Thank you.
fine, and it isn't an old building, so,
All right, thank you very much.
all right. Thank you.
Aye.
Aye. We all said aye.
Aye.
Thank
Aye,
you.
aye.
Thank you for your time today.
Thank you. The next one is 19 Fair Street.
Yeah, and I had talked to Ray about having this heard with
Anybody here?
Because it's smaller.
Nobody here. Go to the next one.
I emailed, and he was hoping the commission would do it without representation.
Oh, all right,
I
well,
run it
let's
by
take
the-
a look at it
run
and
it by
quick.
the Chairman.
It's a small dormer, John. It's a 15-page application with a small dorm. No, I'm just kidding.
This is dormers that they wish to put in. This looks like it's a fairly old house, right?
It's actually not, believe it or
It's
not.
not?
Yeah.
What is it?
It was after, I looked at the aerials, it's after 1950. I didn't do about 1970.
You didn't give us any pictures of the house?
They're new, it's bubbles. Yeah.
What do you want?
it looks like
you want to
house
put
dormer.
those dormers in?
You're responsible.
Is dormer lift?
You voted on the school that got passed. You got no room to talk. Yeah, don't get me anywhere.
Oh, these are
Sorry.
just examples
Not
on the
disrespect my
street.
elders, I'm just saying.
Here it is.
Problems when I got home.
So,
I would go if you wanted me to.
yes,
I think I'm absolutely okay with the dormers. I'd like to see them be 8/8s, like the existing smaller windows on the building, as opposed to a 6/6.
yeah, definitely.
12
All right.
over 12?
No, so if you look at the rear south, he has a lot of 8 light.
Yeah, the 8 would look more appropriate. I agree
Right.
with
Yeah.
So that's my only comment.
Alrighty, and what about you, Steve?
I agree with Dale.
Okay, Johnny?
Motion approved.
All right.
Motion to approve
For
with
8/8.
8/8.
808.
Aye.
Aye.
I'm going to hold mine to the end as a courtesy to our other applicants.
All right, the next one
Because
then
that's the way
is
you roll.
86 Hummock Pond Road.
Tell John.
She's back.
Dale's holding hers to the end.
So we're doing how many times?
That way,
Are you gonna do it
have to be
before
on
John or
Tuesday.
after John?
Yeah,
it doesn't hold anyone up.
then you're going to.
Sorry?
Or after John?
All right, so
At the end, after.
we are at
Welcome.
Alan
How are you?
O'Connor,
Yes, sir.
and the stuff that we asked you to get.
This is Coombs, McLaughlin, Oliver, and Wells. This was heard on Tuesday night.
Yes, we asked them to
Much better.
produce a bunch of things.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Presentation's just cleaner.
Thank you, TJ.
It
These
will
are
help
great.
you a lot.
He's a little bit faster on writers than we
Yeah,
are.
that's okay.
Yeah, they took this thing down to
Use
one
the
story.
resources you can get.
Much better.
Who was on this one again, John?
All
These
of us.
four.
Okay.
This is the house next to Wet. They brought it back
On it.
on it.
On it.
I wasn't going to say it.
You like to say something, Steve?
Yes, I guess I will. I appreciate that the changes to the drawings. It's a big effort to get done quickly, and but I do think it shows really what you're trying to accomplish. And I did drive out there, and I have no concerns with this.
Johnny?
One comment, for that front door, you made a 6 panel instead of 4. Usually a 4 panel go on the inside, you know? You know, you haven't-
Yep, you prefer 6?
6
I
panel.
think a 4 panel goes better with 2 over 2, but I'm not going to say that.
No.
Thank you. They look great. It really, really helped visualize what's happening, so thanks.
Good job.
I appreciate the rocket being dropped down to one level. It really pulls that end together. And so, may I have a motion?
John's motion is to approve as submitted, subject to the front door being a 6 panel.
Great.
Aye.
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 You're approved.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, next one is
Good luck.
Thank you.
for Saratoga. He's not here.
Oh, that was, remember we held it to view and see about the hedge being there, and
Yes.
the other wanted the pergola?
He wanted the hedge
Oh,
moved,
right, yeah.
so it would hide.
Yeah. Wonder if he's coming. Well, let's hold him to see if he comes.
Okay,
All right, the next
Aye.
one then would be, yes, all those who hold it.
we're going to hold Saratoga.
What about
Brodsky.
Smurd
They are gonna hold.
until Tuesday?
Yeah.
Ugh,
What about
Which we gotta avoid.
I know.
17 Broad Street?
That's
God, I'll
him
be
too.
glad.
Could we have a motion on the two?
So make a motion
Motion
to
to
hold
hold
11 and 12
11 and
till
12.
Tuesday's meeting.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Alrighty.
Nancy's here.
Nancy's here.
Welcome, Nancy.
Hello, Steve.
I guess we're gonna, you guys are okay with hearing those on the organizational, right? It's just the 2?
Yeah, I mean, I can do mine at the end here,
Yeah.
so.
Okay. We'll sneak them in the front.
All right.
And Collins of Hill.
I support.
Shab has a comment. Matthew. No, as submitted. No concerns. As submitted. Verify that 4 light will meet proper glass pane proportions.
Shit.
Taller than wide. We know that, for heaven's sake.
Yeah.
Who tells that?
HSAP says it's good to go.
No, ASAP said
No concerns.
no concern with one person voting on it, but making sure
Well, they
that.
had a quorum of the
Oh, look
members
like
then
2.
present.
3.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yes, they had 3, they had a quorum.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
But
What?
all it says is
It's like,
making the
it's
windows
between these 2
chiclet.
houses and the back.
All right, you know.
I know,
Here.
that isn't a good drawing, that window. It's a narrow window.
HSAP said
There.
happy, happy.
All right.
Crazy roof.
Yeah.
Is everybody,
Motion approved is submitted.
Aye.
aye.
Well, thank you all very much. I will leave you to Val.
John Hedden,
Oh, John,
I recognize that name.
4 Weatherly Place.
watch out, he knows all the tricks.
He's young, but he's seen it all.
Hi.
Johnny.
Goodbye.
Last one. Take that apart.
I know, this looks like a lot of paperwork.
He tried, you know? Being a draftsman.
Here.
6, oh, sorry.
Take it over the license?
All right.
Yeah.
You're late.
We can come back to you in a second.
Nope. So now we don't have to have a Tuesday.
We'll try.
So, John,
Yes.
it's just changing the windows?
We are adding window wells and cellar sash. There's one window well on the east elevation, I think it is. We are changing the sash from white to black. And the front door is going to be a 2-light 4-panel instead of a solid 6-panel door.
Nice.
And I think we're changing the color of the roof from Harvard slate to charcoal gray.
Grate over the window?
Yes.
Okay. I have no concern.
Repeat that.
He's putting a grate over the window well?
All right,
In the front,
I have a
or in the
question.
back, or whatever.
You got it down, all windows sash to be black. What color is the trim?
Natural.
Natural.
Natural trim, black windows.
Madam Chair, I have a concern.
Yes,
I would like to know why this wasn't on consent. Make a motion to approve as submitted.
Aye.
aye,
Thank you.
all right,
There's you. This is for John.
that's you.
Coming back.
All right, and now who just came in?
Smurd.
Good.
Motion to reopen 11 and
And
12.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
They wanted to all be here.
Welcome, Mr. Olkey.
Greetings, Mr. Welch. How are you
11
today?
and
Quite
12.
well, thank you. Yourself?
Lovely.
Awesome.
Well, I think
This is kind of cool, actually. I think I might like this.
We
better.
like
I
the
kinda
chairs
do.
better.
I
These
feel-
are much more
I
comfortable.
Feel kind of
important.
important. Yeah, it's
I really
nice.
do.
Some people feel like it's the hot seat. I think it's a.
Can we vie for
How's the
better
camera? The
chairs
cameras-
upstairs or take these upstairs?
We
on
can't
Tuesday?
take them upstairs. I did ask for more of them, but
I noticed as I was tuned in, kind of watching progress, that camera moves. How's that happen?
oh, the camera is automatic. I didn't know they had it
What's
on.
it-
They don't usually have it on for capital programming. The
So
thing
it
that's
follows
nice.
the voice?
Oh, does yeah, I think it
Is
does.
that how it does it?
It's crazy neural network stuff.
All right,
That's why I have that
this
pain in my head.
is for 4 North Water Street, Collins Wiley's house, and it is an individually significant basement.
There's a guy running it.
Basement cold doors should
Nice
be
job.
like-kind doors appeared on the survey photos. Because the building was determined to be individually significant, like-kind sash replacement is appropriate.
No permit.
Thank you, Diane, for.
You are welcome.
I was not aware that had been filed, and I have to say I agree with their.
Is this Sarah's office building?
Correct. On the
Okay.
first floor,
Yeah.
the windows that I'm asking to replace in kind are the ones on, we could call it either the basement level or the ground floor. There's 5 sash in particular that I've given you photographs of each of one of them. They are single, true divided light, single glazed wood sash right now. A little hard for me to totally peg their age, but they look pretty old. They're painted shut.
Do they have weights?
None of them
Or
are
nothing?
double hung, Diane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and if you look at the pictures, you'll see that they vary from like what would that be, 12 light to 6 light,
Right.
And a 3 and a 2.
and then one's a 3. They're kind of all
This
over
is
the
gonna be
place.
weird.
They're basically sized based on how far away the dirt is. They kind of step down with the grade.
No.
Do they need
This
to be
is already
replaced,
there.
or
He's
you-
gonna put this here.
With something else, or are they repairable?
I will
This
tell you
right here.
that what's happening inside these windows is that basement has been renovated
A light
to
door
become
What is this?
an office space. It's actually permitted to be office space.
Okay,
And the owner of the space, Mr. Collins, would like these windows to be operable. And right now, none of them are. So
I'm questioning your accuracy.
we're hoping that by putting in a new true divided light, single glazed, all wood window that I can procure as an operable unit, that the windows would then be operable.
How would they operate?
I have specified them to be awning because I can't swing a window that swings out and hits ground,
Right.
right? And they're not tall enough to be double hung. So, well, I mean, that's not true. I guess I could put a double hung in there, But that's just not what they are, and I was
I
trying
think
to
it'll
do
change the
like
nature of the building.
I was trying to do a like-kind replacement, so.
Yeah.
This one is like-kind sash replacement is appropriate. Like-kind sash replacement is appropriate. Survey photo, because building is determined to be individually significant, so that's why they want like-kind replacement.
Yeah, he's going to
But
take
if you
these ones
replaced
out
it
and
with
put in new ones that are exactly the
This,
same.
with an awning, it would be all right, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If you did wood,
And that door.
with TDLs?
I would be okay, but
I have no concerns with this application.
So we could do you want him to do awning or 3/6?
I would be concerned about changing these to double hungs, because it's going to change the whole presentation of the building.
Right.
Okay, so we
So I
keep
think the
these
trade-off would
as
be
an
awning.
awning.
Yeah.
Okay.
And John's trying to figure out where the door is, and he's concerned about
I know
something.
where the door is.
Not
It's
anybody-
a fold door, and it
Yeah.
has to be replaced like kind,
I had
that's
a
all.
question.
John
Yep.
has a question.
Yes.
Go ahead.
What is this thing?
That is a temporary structure over while they've been doing renovation. They're getting water down. That is, you go down about 4 steps, John, into that
Yeah,
cellar.
I've been there, yeah.
Okay, then I don't have to explain it to you.
He
That
built
thing
the
has
house.
been catching water, and they put that over to try to keep some of the water out. As a function of the improvements they're making to this space, they're actually putting a proper drain into that sunken stairwell so that they don't have a problem with water.
This is going to disappear.
And that would go away, yes, sir.
So
Which
do
would
I
be a
have-
good thing, because it's ugly as all get out.
$100 do something without a permit.
Do we have a motion?
So moved. Approved as submitted.
All right.
Can I just want to make sure one thing's clear. The door
is not
is
original.
not like-kind replacement, and it kind of got lumped in, and I just don't want anybody
No, no,
later to be
we
like...
know- I
okay.
walked John
It's a
through it.
very different door than what's there. The door that's there
Is not
is
original.
hideous, but, so this was our proposal.
We looked at the door. We're
Okay.
good with it.
All right, great.
Is there a vote on that?
I,
Is that all of them?
Yep, that's it.
All right, I have a comment. Before we-
No.
Oh, no, no.
Val's gonna do
No, we
hers.
have more to do. We have
Oh.
Vale's to do.
It's,
and he has another one.
Yeah, there's-
And Stephen has another one.
And there's Val.
So the landmark house application,
Yep.
I've asked if we can put over to the beginning of Tuesday. I heard Ray say that maybe you would do some applications then.
Yes.
There were board members that were here at 1 o'clock and they couldn't stay. And some of those landmark board people would like to be here for the hearing.
okay, there's no problem with that.
So they asked
Take
if I could put that to
Motion
Tuesday.
to hold
Till
What number
Tuesday,
is it?
beginning of the meeting
landmark house
Tuesday.
to
Number
the
11,
beginning
John.
of Tuesday
Thank you.
agenda, okay?
Aye.
Yeah,
All
hold
right.
Tuesday.
Okay, hold
Can you-
on, I thought you
It's
were
3
doing
o'clock
landmark
now.
with that one.
Sorry.
What are we doing with yours? Are we gonna go?
So
I'd
landmark-
like to,
back
if you
to
guys are
Tuesday.
willing to.
But I am, Tuesday's organizational, right?
We're going to do it at the beginning of the meeting, so they
Okay.
should be there 4:30.
So I can tell them to get there
First-
like right at
And then
4:30,
we'll
right?
Are we
do
doing,
them.
are we
Right,
running
yeah.
at 4 or 4:30?
Not right at.
Yeah.
At 4:30.
Be there before.
Hey, if you're on time,
that?
you're late. If you're early,
I
you're on
thought I
time.
heard you say something about starting the meeting at 4.
That was just
Wait, 4?
an idea,
I don't know.
4:30.
I don't-
think we'll do 4:30.
I personally don't care when it
number
starts.
is it?
I'll be here. I just need to know.
I don't know.
Uh,
I would say 4:30 if it's gonna, it looks like it'll be the only application, so.
We'll be out of here by 4 o'clock.
Speaking in the future as to Tuesday night, right now at this moment, we are reviewing number 4 on views.
We're holding yours,
13 Hedgeberry
Right.
Lane.
at your
Yes.
request, landmark, yeah.
15
All right,
Hinsburg,
I'm
okay.
off.
So, did I just hear that meetings are going to be Thursday nights and someone's providing pizza? What just happened?
At your house.
We used to have pizza in the olden days.
Is that the organizational meeting? Can I come?
Anybody
I like
can come.
pizza.
Yeah. All right. And JB Studio has arrived.
Okay, so this is for a shed in Hedgeberry. Natural to weather trim. Believe it's Essex green sash to match the house. And I brought aerial showing the other places in there that also have sheds.
Did you highlight them?
Yeah, in the front.
All right.
Can I keep this for when I put a shed in my front yard?
Would you like
Dale.
to say yes, yes or no there?
Motion to approve it.
Mr. Well,
As submitted.
all right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Don't put that in, Terry, I didn't say
All
that.
right, next one is 28 Swift Rock Road. Is the window changed from...
So this is like what you call a brain fart.
Okay.
I originally applied for this as 6/1.
Done.
And it's supposed to match the house, which is 2/2. So I have to clean up my paperwork.
So you just want 2/2?
Yes.
She just wants 2/2 instead of 6/6.
Anybody?
I put to match house, and I had a total like brain aneurysm and put them in as
Don't have one of
6/1.
those.
So we're changing them from 2/2s. All those in favor?
Wait a minute, who made the motion?
I made the motion.
Thank you.
And is everybody ready to vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, the next
The
one
Swift Rock
is 6
Nope,
East
I'm doing
Silver
that.
Street. I thought we did that, didn't we?
We did, but I was holding for you guys to view again. And John brought in a picture he took today that he can see it. So the question was, I wanted to bring in the HSAB minutes from the first time, which they wrote, the rear of this structure has no visibility. But John proved we were wrong. So the question was whether or not I would move those windows on the south in a foot,
Can
and I will.
All right.
Where are we on?
can I ask, when was the HSABs?
12/4/17.
So there were still leaves on the trees? Because John's picture shows some leaves falling from the trees.
It's
That's
fine.
Yeah.
It's not worth holding it up for that.
Hang
So-
on to that one just a minute, I got a comment.
Okay.
I'm active on this one now, John.
Yes.
So, I mean, just to have said it, I'm going to say it, I'll say it again. I don't think every window in every house needs to be located perfectly balanced and so on and so forth. We get into this kind of a homogeneous design mode, and everything looks the same even though it's different because it's all proportionally located left to right on elevation. So I have absolutely no issue with the windows as shown, given also that for the majority of the year they're screened by vegetation. However, I understand that a fellow commissioner, Mr. Sir John McLaughlin, has a concern about some reporting that was done to our group by our subcommittee. And with that, I cede the floor.
All right, Johnny, you have something?
I'm gonna kick him. Yes, I have another comment. Valerie Oliver sitting here, would you take the thing from the our committee
Yeah.
and read what your recommendation is to me, please?
Well, this was from when they first reviewed it. It says rear of structure has no visibility. And then,
That's all I want to hear, all right? For them to do that and make that statement where it's wide open and everybody can see it, what bothers me mostly is that they made that statement. They didn't do the viewing they're supposed to do.
yeah, that was
All right?
Michael
And I
May,
find it
Jason,
very
and
offensive to this commission to let us sit here and not make mention about it. You know?
And they
Everybody
also
else
on the
has to.
SHAP said that the windows should be 6/6, not 2/2.
so that's not their fault unless they didn't go look at it, because I'm reusing the little kitchen windows that are already in the building, which I'm giving you a picture of, and they are 2/2.
Well, sometimes they mixed 6/6 and 2/2s, as my house has one whole side of the house are 2/2s. everything else is 6/6. That's the way.
They're not new windows, they're there, so.
Valerie, I'm not taking issue with the application, all right? What I'm taking issue with is the committee that made that recommendation. That's what bothers me. They're not doing their work. All right? And I'm just saying that, also, I'd like to, when you get the minutes done next week, whatever, would you send them a copy of it, please?
Yes, I should make note, this is from the previous
Right.
first application, so they weren't, and it was never put on a view list?
I don't know.
I believe so.
Valerie said go view it.
Yes, she did at Tuesday night's HDC meeting. Those comments were made 6 months ago.
Yeah, I would
when
just.
they reviewed a prior an application before this one. This is a revision to that previous.
Okay, well, I'm saying, it doesn't matter. They still didn't do their job.
All right, well, that's
Well,
not us to criticize them on the.
let's just keep in mind too that it may have been a seasonal thing when they went. If there's a lot of evergreens, there's some evergreens there, but there's also some deciduous plant material. I'm just reluctant to say they didn't do their job because we don't know that.
To make a statement like that?
Okay, I'm just, a wise man once told me to, don't paint yourself in a corner. I think his name was Sir John McLaughlin, and I'm just saying what I'm saying.
Send them a copy of that, too.
All right.
All right, so
Send them a copy in a minute.
our motion is we are approving with the.
As submitted? My motion is to approve as submitted.
What's,
We are approving as submitted.
that's what I'm asking for, but it's up to you guys.
That's the motion.
All right, all those in favor of that motion? Aye.
All right, now, I would be willing to hold my other two, so,
We're going to just keep going.
okay.
Is that okay, Madam Chair?
Well, I have a place to be, but we could do it very quickly.
I'm all right.
You're all right?
Bruce is taking care of it.
Okay.
We have 3 more.
This one's easy. Is it Ahab now?
Yeah, 21 Ahab.
In a prior submission to this board, I had added a shed on the back of this garage, only to find out I was over my ground cover. So now I'm asking if that shed can just be an open porch over an exterior stair to the basement.
Can I see the cover?
Which elevation is that? South elevation?
So it would be west, south, and east that you would see it. And on the first page is the prior approval.
Right.
And it was a solid, filled-in, a little bit smaller shed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With doors on one end, which
Yeah.
went down the stairs, but I can't do that because of a ground cover issue. So I'm just asking to keep a roof over the stairs.
All right. Do you have the comments, Steve?
Motion approved is submitted.
All righty. Johnny,
Yes.
approval?
Oh.
Got it.
This is what I was asking if Mickey could do with his porch.
Yeah, right.
Right. But
Over.
with the details of the old
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a vote?
That's it. May I have a vote on that, everybody?
We're all aye.
Aye.
All in favor, say aye. Ooh, baby.
All right, so now the last one is?
It's 75 North Liberty. I'm representing this for someone. I did not draw it. It's a modification to an existing house that was built in 1984.
It says here, on the north elevation, shed roof pitch appears to be shallow, less than 4/12. On the east elevation, the shed overwhelms roof plane. Fascia of shed should rest on window casings and other. Shed is shown with a setback, but will be flush if built according to plan.
I don't see that.
This is the existing.
Oh, yeah, because of a stairway.
This is 75 North Limit, right?
Yep. I have a couple pictures there.
So,
They're adding a front porch on the front facade
right,
and changing what is right now a shed roof into a little gable and adding some gable dormers and removing the chimney.
what year is this house?
1984.
Oh, okay.
And then on the back adding a dormer and changing some windows out.
And where were they talking about that shed?
The shed dormer is in the rear.
What are the colors?
The colors that are there, white, trim,
So it's going to match existing?
yeah, black, 3-tab.
And on the existing right elevation, they're putting in 2 new windows.
Nope, it says windows to remain. I don't know why he marked those. If you look at the right south existing, they're there already. Oh, it looks like he's making,
This is on the east elevation.
oh, sorry.
It's got 2 new windows in that little gable.
Yes, as opposed to 1.
Steve, do you want to begin?
On removing a skylight.
As a general comment, I don't have any issues, but I do believe that the roof structure, and I'm not sure if this is what the comment was from HSAB, is that if the porch roof, that beam, the fascia was dropped a foot or so to make it more subordinate, I just think it would be a nicer design, but I don't think it's
Wait,
a deal killer.
explain that to me again, sorry.
Just if they were to lower the whole roof mass,
On
change
which
it
elevation?
on the proposed front elevation, the west, not change the pitch or anything, just lower the roof mass by making your post shorter, getting it closer down to the, not exactly on, but closer to the window head heights. Just
Gotcha.
as a conceptual matter.
So like a beam or something, maybe.
Or if they lowered it, I don't think it would hurt it to have a little bit of roof space of the main roof showing under the dormers. So basically what would happen is that roof mass would come down, maybe 9
I
inches.
see it if you look at the right elevation, what you're talking about.
Yeah, it
I
just-
think it's a drawing thing, but
So Diana, if you look at the second page proposed right elevation, so what I'm saying is in the upper left corner, is if just the roof mass of the porch
drop down.
were to be dropped down a foot or so,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just think it would actually help them with those dormers.
Gotcha. Okay.
But the overall design, it's
You want to
appropriate
do
for-
that through staff or
Sure.
send to somebody else's drawing?
No, I'll make them make the revisions and bring them in.
Okay.
Skylight is existing?
What's that?
Skylight is existing?
Yeah, but we're taking it out to put the dormer.
Taking it out.
So, yes, that would be fine.
All right, so may I have a motion on that?
Go
Go ahead, you make the motion.
Okay, so motion approved is submitted with the exception that the front porch roof mass will be lowered in its entirety approximately 1 foot.
Okay. You know what? I didn't even notice that. That was a good call.
Thanks.
I'll get that. I just was writing that down. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Anybody opposed? No.
Now we go back to reopen. Hey!
You don't have to reopen because you didn't really close it.
Oh.
You just held it for his arrival, and you're right.
Do you have a meeting in here?
Later, after your...
Oh. We don't have any of your stuff on here today. JB.
That was that guy and his wife.
Yeah, that was the guy and his wife.
All right, anything other business?
Well, he's here now, JB, so we're just going to do his and call it a day.
Who's Saratoga?
Well, he has to do something as punishment.
Saratoga.
We approved it.
He has to sing and dance for us.
We held Landmark House till Tuesday.
And the adoring public field.
Thank you, welcome.
This
Welcome
is
back.
Saratoga.
Oh,
And we asked for a view, remember,
Yeah.
and he could come back today.
All right.
so, Val.
So you can see.
Having gone by there after we talked about this, he's correct. If the hedges are staying,
Hedges are tall and they will be extended further.
I don't have a concern with this because it's peculiar anyway where the
Yes,
front
it is.
door is. And this is their only living space, so.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Steve?
I think the privet appropriately hides the domestic uses, and I would, unless there's concerns, I would make a motion to approve as submitted, subject to limited visibility.
With privet to remain.
Privet to remain. To be
Aye.
maintained.
All those in favor, aye.
That's,
Any opposed?
10.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
JV Studio.
Have a good day.
Awesome.
I told you it was already
God,
here.
there's this.
I lied to you.
Okay, I got it.
Is this one?
Yeah, that's that house.
That's it, right?
See it, there's- I just- nothing else.
We do have an item on the agenda, and I want to just kind of, for architectural elements, and I wanted to give you guys an update. John and I have not been able to get together, and it's not through a lack of John's efforts on the HTC mini splits. I've just been consumed with some other volunteer work. So I would like to come in and meet with John and get finalized the informational for the Builders Association. So I just wanted to give you an update and let you know that it hasn't been left to the wayside.
Okay.
John?
Yeah, we would, collaborated on going to the Builders Association.
Right.
We've actually
This
been
is
invited
to
that.
explain to them the mini split.
The next meeting?
Yes.
Awesome.
Are they being
Do you want
invited?
anyone to go with you?
I encourage all members to attend. I don't know what kind of reception we're going to get, but there is a bar there, so it could make that
Where's
things
the
better
meeting?
or worse. I'm not sure.
Fairgrounds Restaurant,
I'm in.
Valentine's Day.
I'm definitely in.
Well, if everybody turned up, then we would have to call it a meeting.
Yeah,
That's okay.
we probably should post it.
I mean, if you do, then that's
What
fine.
Well, you can't because it's not a public.
Public
Oh,
meeting
yeah.
area.
What,
So we'll have to have,
where
we
are
can
we?
designate two commissioners.
Yeah, I don't have to be there, but I'll go. I mean,
You know, you do the best at explaining that stuff.
come on. Okay, I'll go if
so-
you buy the drinks.
Is there any other information? Do you need any?
What are you guys doing for? What's the,
There's a concern about what the mini splits, the conduit on the
Yes.
outside, and also the location of the
Reviewing,
units.
That's it. So what do
They're
you
just
want me to sign?
proliferating across the historic
I think
district.
I see them all over the place.
It's
That's
unreal.
What you guys proposed is you see
We're gonna remind people, it's
No,
a
Diane,
three
I thought she had to go.
legs to the stool. We're gonna do an informational on the application so people get a reminder that that's part of our purview. We're gonna send out an informational with some images to all the designers and architects and the HVAC supply houses, and then we're gonna meet with the Builders Association to let them know that these are part of our purview, and, we'll work with you when we can, but they're not appropriate to be visible. Is that,
You know, maybe
I know
in,
that answers. I didn't know
Yeah.
if you were carving out some special provision. I'm glad to hear that you're not.
yeah.
So, where are you looking?
no, we're asking people to be more mindful about how they place them.
Yeah.
And if they can't, to put them like in a wood gutter kind of thing, to,
It'll be a three-sided downspout,
Yeah, I saw one in the Wisconsin Historic District that
Yeah.
looked, better than PVC conduit.
yeah.
But we're going to dissuade people from doing it, because those systems really can be run, the
Can
distribution lines can be typically between 25 or over 50 feet, up to 50 feet, so there's no reason just to have it be on the outside going up.
Adjourn the meeting.
Okay.
Can
Motion
we
to
have a-
adjourn?
Yes,
No.
please.
No?
The motion to adjourn. Anybody got any information on the $30,000 is going to be spent to rewrite the guidebook. Is anybody working on the guidebook?
No, I was going to bring that up at the organizational
Okay.
meeting.
Yeah, that would be
Forget it,
yeah,
folks.
and I do have some information actually, so, but we can go over that, yeah.
It'll be a long time doing that.
So, John, just so we have it on the record, the Builders Association meeting is, I think it's typically the third Wednesday?
Wednesday, February 14th.
Oh, second. Oh, you said Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
February 14th.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I didn't process it earlier.
So,
Maybe that was conveniently scheduled by the builders.
Yes. May we adjourn the meeting?
Yep, we have a motion for adjournment.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Whose seltzer water
Thank you,
is
Terry.
this?